I'm John Bollinger with Premier Guitar. Today we're doing a review demo of the Color Box by JHS pedals. The Color Box, what they're going for, it's an all-analog attempt in a tiny box to recreate the sound of a famous Neve preamp. As you can tell by the icon of the mixing board right there, they're trying to reproduce that sound. That sound, during the 60s, a lot of iconic songs had that sound of a guitar plugged straight into a Neve, and then the preamp turned all the way up, like our friend John Lennon was doing in Revolution. So that's their idea, but it's more than just that. It's an interesting concept because that sound, that kind of fugly, out of control tone, does not sound like a stomp box. It doesn't sound like an overdrive, it doesn't sound like an amp. And there's no real way to get that any other way until now. And that's pretty close. This sounds really close to that. But it's more than just that one trick. It also can function as a preamp. It has an XLR out and a quarter-inch in. So you could run a acoustic guitar in it in a live application using this as a DI or a preamp or both, or you could run a drum machine into it for weird, funky, trashy drum machine sounds in recording. You could run a bass into it for either a clean tone or a fuzz bass or whatever. So there's all kinds of options on that end. Let me tell you a little bit about the pedal. Up here, we have the red section, which is volume, pre-volume, and steps. Volume, of course, is just how much volume you're getting, obviously. The pre-volume acts as a gain, and when we came in, I had the pre-volume way up and the volume back. And steps is a selector that decides how many dB you're adding. Well, that's kind of an oversimplification, but there's going to be a different tone with the amount of dB. There's 5 different steps. It begins with all the way down to a mere 18 dB. Then next is 23, 28, 33, then 39. I had it on 39 because more is more, so why not dime it? Down here is the preamp section in blue, which just treble, mids, and bass. The treble is 10K, mids is 1K, and bass is, bass is 120 Hertz. And you have the option of adding or subtracting 17 dB in these specific tonal areas. And then over here is a high pass, which just takes out everything but the high end that you want to leave in. So that's the basics. Let me tell you about everything else in the signal chain. I'm playing my Epiphone John Lennon Revolution that was made in the Gibson factory, and it's completely stock, and it's a really good copy of John Lennon's guitar. And how could you not play this guitar with this pedal? I'm just running a cable directly into it, and then running out of that into a Mesa Boogie Lone Star amp in the clean channel, completely flat, with a little bit of reverb. I'm miking it with a Royer R121 mic, and running that into an Apogee Quartet and then into Pro Tools. And this is what it sounds like direct. Very different. So one thing that made music so interesting in the late 60s, early 70s is because you couldn't go out and buy a rectifier amp or a modern metal pedal or anything like that. So when they plugged a guitar into a console and serendipitously heard this weird overdriven tone, they utilized that. Like Neil Young in Crazy Horse, he used it like. Pretty cool. Now, Jimmy Page in Zeppelin, I always thought that Black Dog was played with a Marshall or like a Supro turned all the way up. But as it turns out, that was at 59 Les Paul plugged directly into a Neve console. Now, this isn't a Les Paul, but if I boost the mids quite a bit, in fact, let's just put them all the way up there, it'll get pretty close to that. Pretty close. You know, it's great that you have these options to tailor sounds. So the color box does more than just this overdrive thing. Say you're at a jazz gig and somebody requests Black Dog. What you could do, you could clean it up, bring down the preamp, bring up the bass, and then you could give them White Dog. Make you sweat, gonna make you groove. Sorry, dumb jazz joke. What I mean is that you really, it's not exclusively just a dirty drive. You can really jack with your tone and get some interesting options just by using these other these other parts of it. The high pass gives you a nice kind of I don't know, like a Prince scratch thing. Pretty cool. So the color box really does color your tone. Like in this section right here, if you try, I was experimenting where I like turn down, you know, bass and mids and try just jacking up the treble, and it's just such a weird tone. See, that's just weird, man. Now let's go the other way and bring the mids all the way up. And then if you really go crazy, just a crazy tone, like that squished, you know, like your amp is going to explode. Now, if we do it with the bass, this gets really interesting. Watch this. Observe. Watch the pedal when you just goose the bass way up. So you get the whole dancing pedal effect, which is pretty cool. So that is the color box. To read the full written review, go to premierguitar.com. And while you're online, make sure you like us on Facebook and check out the Premier Guitar site. We have just tons of great guitar geek stuff up there to poke around. This is John Bollinger. Peace out.
Don't forget to sign up for PG Perks, your all-access pass to exclusive gear giveaways and discounts on PremierGuitar.com.